Well, hello there! I am Ricky, and welcome to my new news channel, SBN News. This is not the first news channel I've came out with, and whether it's going to be the last, I don't know. That being said, though, I hope you enjoy the my little fishy jellyfish friends around the screen right here. An interesting little design aesthetic that I decided to choose. Not the first time I've used it, I will admit, but hey, who doesn't like jellyfish? It's quite a calming little aesthetic. That being said though, interesting little first topic for this channel. And I do apologise for the audio snafu if there's a little bit of audio issue going on. I have a fan on because it's quite warm. Anyways, do you guys remember not a news platform, a video sharing platform like YouTube, that is not YouTube, called Vlare.tv? Now, there's a little bit of a long history with this, and when it comes to this whole thing, it's not the first time this has happened, where a website pops up trying to act as an alternative to YouTube as a platform. Paul won't be the last either. And Vlare, sadly, is no more. It says right here on this website, when you go into Vlare TV, now ever since the start of the year, this web page has said, coming soon, we're going to be rebooting, because Vlare TV has been around before. It's been around before, but what happened previously was a DMC takedown notice was granted to Vlare. Not to the website itself, not to like a specific video like you have on YouTube kind of thing. Not to a specific video or bit of content they had hosted on the website, but unknowingly to the host provider of the site. Which, sadly, the Vlare team didn't know about, and they didn't even notice until it was too late that the website was taken down. So there was a little bit of stuff going on behind the scenes, and thanks to friends who told me about this kind of stuff, there was actually drama behind the scenes as well, like Vlare being a little bit dodgy when it came to stuff. But I'm not going to get into that today, because after a lot of back and forth and the announcement that the Vlare project was going to be taken over by someone, it is now no more. This is the live website as it looks right now. And this actually was at one point in time, this was actually a full-on letter, I believe, talking about how the Vlare project is cancelled. Because literally at the start of the year, there was a big announcement, big hoo-ha, Vlare's coming back. Now, if I go to this link, I'm just going to click on that. It says right here on this status, what a journey it has been. Unfortunately, we have decided to terminate Vlare. We underestimated the effort needed to run and manage Vlare. We are just as disappointed as anyone. We will be refunding all money donated via Patreon within the next few days. And this Twitter page has not been too active since then. There was only just even a month ago that they were wondering if the audiences that were hooked on to the Vlare project, they were trying to get updates kind of thing. You could either join the Discord server or get updates through Twitter, and they were doing a poll asking about updates. This is the first and final proper update, sadly. It's saying sorry for lack of updates, and it's just like them trying to grow the Twitter page a little bit with some interesting questions. Following our Q&A, guess what? We've reached 50% of development and we're launching the beta. And you were able at one point in time to enroll, but I do believe this page is probably down now, which should be interesting. Well, it's looping, so that's probably not going to be of interest. You can sign up now. I want to remind you that this is actually a screenshot from the last week, so there's been a lot of revisions made to the website. In order to support Vlare's development, blah 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 blah. And that's another thing as well, they were using Patreon to help power the updates and that kind of stuff going on with it. Now, that's sad, but admittedly it's not the first time this has happened. You guys may be familiar with a project called vid.me. And I'm not going to touch this because I've already seen it. Yes, the vid.me link has been taken over by a no-name adult site. And don't ask me how I know this. But vid.me was a web page that came out in 2014 with the same goal as Vlare did, to be an alternate area for people to go besides YouTube. They shut down last year, and there was a point in time where the webpage was archived, but then the archives for the video content was then all deleted, just leaving the HTML pages. So I actually had a channel on there, and at one point in time I could actually see my channel's content, all not the videos kind of thing, they were all gone of course, but I could see in some cases the thumbnails, other cases it would be like, you know, the text, the description, the other metadata for videos that I put up. Good times, good times. I miss that. Goodbye for now, vid and Medium. It's a Medium post. So there you go. And as well as that, there's been sites that stemmed from the vid.me project. I think it was called Vanilla. That came about as well, but that's long gone as well. At the time, YouTube was the only major platform that provided revenue sharing, a system which often neglected creators with smaller niche audiences. That was another reason behind all this trouble. All the drama behind, you know, users trying to make a job out of YouTube kind of thing was the goal behind these websites. So we're trying to create a little bit of competition behind YouTube. But it seems time and again, these platforms underestimate the, even as Vlare mentioned, the time, effort, manpower it takes to handle websites like this. Now, I'd say to anyone right now, if you've ever uploaded content, if you've got like multiple YouTube channels that you upload content to, take a note of the amount of videos you have on your channel. Download an extension, maybe say TubeBuddy, that kind of thing. There are channels on the site that have like 500 plus videos on there. Do me a favour. Try to download all of the content you've ever produced and see how much storage you need, whether it be a hard drive. You know, how many hard drives would it take to back up your YouTube videos? Times that by millions and millions of users. This alone is quite expensive. Petabytes of data, video data, you know, hours, you know, like, I don't know, like I think it's like 300 hours watch time, or 300 hours worth of video content is uploaded to YouTube. Not every day, not every month, every minute. So you can kind of see the manpower, the kind of manpower you need. Now it's one thing if you've got like 10 users uploading to your video platform. Again, you have to worry about server management. You have to worry about people handling the code. It's quite an expensive venture as video sharing platforms. This is a very expensive venture because, you know, 500 videos, can that fit into a 1 terabyte hard drive? Could do, but depends how much how well good quality this is. So you'd have the websites that would limit how many videos you could upload a day. You'd have limitations like you can only upload videos that are in 720p or 420p, so the quality was lowered. People would argue that there was crap on those other websites, excuse the term. And then that would lower that kind of stuff. You have to worry about advertisements. You have to actually worry about earning money from that platform. again, that's expensive because you then have to worry about what content's being put on your platform. Advertisers flail their hands every time there's a dodgy drama going on with YouTube. I mean, we had the whole ISIS stuff going on last year. Hopefully this channel doesn't get flagged for me saying that, but what are you going to do? We had this whole drama going on last year with the YouTube platform, or even just a few years ago, kind of thing. YouTube is a very expensive venture, and you could probably argue in that case Google's actually being more of a charity in this case. And it's been joked about, you know, how many servers it needs to be logged in and out of YouTube's headquarters on a daily notice. You know, Google's got a lot of resources on its backing. Google is a massive company. As I said, it's got a lot of money at its own waist, kind of thing. It's got its own technologies that it uses to handle all of this infrastructure that YouTube has. So it can get away with that. You know, new platforms starting out almost don't have a chance. They have to be charities. They have to, you know, take money off themselves. You know, you can't really earn a profit off these platforms. Until at least 2019, YouTube was profiting maybe 10%. The profit margin between YouTube, excuse me right now, the profit margin between YouTube was like 50-40, which I personally, even as I'm a small YouTuber, and I didn't really get too upset about YouTube last year with the reports that YouTube was going to be monetizing content that, you know, wasn't monetized for creators to earn money from. I do admittedly kind of come from the stance that it is a little bit selfish on the people who are criticizing YouTube for wanting to monetize your content that you upload to its platform. It's YouTube's platform. You know, they've got right to make money off of you not wasting, that's a bit harsh, but you using up their resources to host your content. I did think I was a little bit petty, and I even saw a couple of cases of two small YouTubers who took down their content or privated their content and said, I'm going to quit YouTube. I'm not letting, if I'm not getting paid for it, I don't want YouTube, you know, any money of my content, kind of thing, which, as I say, is a little bit petty. You're using YouTube's resources to host your content. And they've got other drama as well when it comes to monetization. And I will say, people who always criticise Susan Wojcicki for that kind of stuff, I feel admittedly quite sorry for Susan Wojcicki, if I'm being quite honest with you. Because she's got all of this, you know, on her shoulders, this whole stuff going on. And people say, you should do this, you should do that. Could you really, because people say all the time, Susan Wojcicki needs to be replaced. By who? How do you know that the next person who takes her place is not going to do anything better? Would you do anything better? That's an interesting question to ask. Would you? As a serious question, would you be able to do any better than YouTube? I don't know if I could, if I'm being quite honest with you. So this is just another one of those things where these platforms are not always able to estimate how they're going to be able to cope with this kind of management kind of thing. YouTube is, as I say, YouTube is a very expensive venture. And it's also quite a worrying venture as well. You know, that's why they use robots to manage, you know, what content gets, what gets demonetized, what kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff that drives people nuts about the YouTube platform. If you just did not have these systems, they'd be stuck. Because they're trying to earn money, trying to make a profit, or at least some profit, you know, as a company. But they can't really do that if they're wasting money on trying to employ people, kind of thing. And, you know, employing people to do that kind of job is just as expensive as hosting the platform itself. It's just another one of those things. And I just say, rest in peace to Vlare .tv, and rest in peace vid.me. It's just one of those things where it's just, this is not a very easy venture, this whole video sharing stuff. Twitch at one point in time was actually going to do the same thing. They were going to host video content. It no longer does that. The Premiere system is gone. Because you couldn't compete with YouTube for starters, because YouTube is the biggest video sharing platform. That's another thing as well with these new platforms. It's trying to find the people who are going to make content that's going to make that platform successful. And then it's finding the money to keep that platform stable. These are the problems when it comes to these sites. So it's just one of those things where people can try, but unless you're a mega corporation, you can't do nothing. Unless you're a charity, unless you're like the Internet Archive and earn donations and earn most of the money and not give any to the creators kind of thing. Keep all the money, reap all the money from that kind of thing. That's just how it works. But as I say, YouTube is a very expensive venture, and it's very difficult for new sites to take that lead for many different reasons. Many different factors that I can actually get into in this video to not make it too long, because it's already too long already. But that being said, guys, that's just enough of a ramble for me right there. As I say, rest in peace to Vlare TV. Let me know how you feel about Vlare TV down below in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. That being said, guys, welcome to my first video on SBN News. I hope you enjoy, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to support SBN, my new platform. And if you want to listen to podcasting, I might be doing some podcasting too. You know, I might have a link somewhere, you know, somewhere in the description or something, that kind of thing, where I will be doing a little bit of podcasting with friends on a sub channel called SBN Radio. So it should be maybe in the iCard section, maybe there, I'm not too sure. That being said, guys, I am Ricky. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.